Hi, this is Andy from Svija. I'm going to show you how to do mouse over effects in Adobe Illustrator using Svija. So what we're going to do is going to add some links up here, and we're going to do various kinds of effects when you mouse over and click on the links. So we're going to open header.ai. Okay. I'm going to hide the existing content and make some a couple of new layers. So I'm going to make 3 new layers. This one is going to be triggers, pink layer, a blue layer called events, light blue. This obviously doesn't matter, it's purely for my own organization. And this one is going to be called static. So first of all, we're just going to add some text links. So let's see, home, make Helvetica bold, we'll make it white, and we'll make it bigger. So home. Okay, then we're going to go have a link to, let's link to some sites somewhere else. Google, and what can we link to? Well, Svija. Let's link to the Svija site. That's fine. So we got 3 links, and then maybe to tech support. That would be good. Okay, so now we have the static links. So I'm going to save the page. Svija sync is uploading. And when I reload the page, here we have our text. It's not quite white, so let me fix that. White. Okay, so now we're going to add links on top of these. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle around each one. And I'm going to make the rectangle pink, and I'm going to make it 30%. Again, this has no technical effect. It's just sort of a convention that I've adopted that makes my life easier. Okay, so we're going to make it, we're going to start on the right side, because then they'll be in the right order in the layers panel. Okay, then we're going to move it over like this. I can type Command D to duplicate the movement. Okay, so now I can move this edge over here, like that. I can move these 2 edges at the same time using the A arrow. It's kind of a nice, I get to keep everything attached the way I want it. And this edge over here. Okay, so now I have 4 links. So I'm going to give them the actual destinations using the attributes panel. In French, it's called option d'objet. We have a lot of French users, so I thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, so this one, the home always just goes to /. If you want to link to a site that's somewhere else, then you have to include the whole address. So we're going to put https://google.com. Alexa, stop the timer. Excuse me. That's my tea that's ready. Okay, and this is going to go to https://svija.com. And the last one is going to go to our tech support website, which is at https://tech.svija.love. Okay, so now we'll save the page. And as you know, the triggers will not be effective unless I name them. So I'm going to call it mouse/home-link, mouse/G-link, mouse/S-link. The names need to be different in order to do the mouse over effects. Otherwise, they could all be the same. Mouse/T-link, because it goes to tech.svija.love. So now if I save the page and I go through the browser and I reload, I can see that the links are active. In the bottom left corner of the page, you see the address that they're going to go to. These 3 links, I'd like them to go to a separate window. I don't want them to take away from this I don't want them to take people away from this page. The way I do that is I just add a /n for a new window. But I don't want to do it on that one. I want to do it on this one. /n /n. So now these three links will go to a new window. So that's all we need to do with the triggers. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do a simple mouse over effect on the home button. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle under it. It's going to be on the events layer. It's just going to be a little white rectangle. I'm going to hide the triggers for a minute because it's easier to see. Okay, and this is just going to be called overaway for mouse over and mouse away /home link, and that's it. And that will just appear when the mouse goes over the home link. I can't forget to turn the triggers back on when I save or a page won't work. So that's the simplest kind of mouse over effect. And now when I move the mouse over home, I get a little effect. That's the simple one. Now, if I want to have something a little more fun, I'll draw a rectangle around Google. This time I'm going to make it a rectangle that has color in it. Red with a white border. And if I'm going to have a solid rectangle, it needs to be behind the static layer or else it won't work. So now we can see Google. And this, of course, I have to name it correctly. I try to keep everything in order in the layers panel. It makes it easier to keep track of what's going on. So this is going to be called overaway /G link. So this will make a red box when the mouse goes over the Google link. Reload the page. Google has a red box and this has an underline. Those are pretty much the same effect. So if I want to make the text Google get bigger, then what I need to do is I'm going to put the events layer back up here where it was. Move the static layer down. Okay. I'm going to take the word Google and I'm going to paste it into this, on top of this rectangle. So I do Command F to paste in front. I'm going to make it bigger. And I'm going to make a group with these two, and I'm going to give the group the name that I had before. And this time, I'm going to make it get bigger. So I'm going to put %110. And as soon as I start putting other parameters in, the disappearing and reappearing effect won't be automatic. So now I'm going to need to put T100. I'm going to animate to transparency 100. So now if I save the page, we should have Google. It gets bigger and it's animated. But it's really not getting bigger, it's just covering up the previous one. What we would really like is just for it to be animated. So let's do that for the Svija link. Okay. So for the Svija link, I'm going to take the static one, and we're not going to keep it on static. We're going to put it on in the back of the events layer, like this. And this time, we're going to make it get bigger. I'm going to create a group just because I always like to keep the original element unchanged. So I create a group. And this is going to be called overaway /slink /%120. Start simple. So all that's going to happen is it's going to get bigger. Then I save the page. Reload it. And now, oops, reload it again. If I go over Svija, it gets bigger. So that's nice. It's nice and simple. We could also do something fun, like we could have it rotate 360 degrees to the right. This might be bothersome to users, so we'll probably end up undoing this. It's kind of fun. Maybe I'll keep it. Well, I'll stop it for now. And the other thing we can do is we can do a separate animation for when you actually click on the link. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a box in the background that's going to be red. Oops. And it's going to be behind. And this is going to be called down slash S link. And so when the mouse is pressed down, it will appear. So I click Save Page. And I reload. And now this is here, and when I press down, the link becomes red. And it's going to open in a new window because I put the N. So there's a lot you can do with this kind of these kind of techniques, just by layering things differently and animating different parts. So for the last one, for support, I'm going to just do that something nice and subtle. I'm going to have it get a little bit bigger. So I'm going to take the text from static and move it up to the events layer, paste it in the back, create a I'm going to add a rectangle around it. That's going to be blue with nice round corners. And I'm going to group those two things together. Put this in the back. Obviously, the text has to be in front of the rectangle. Okay? So now I'm going to take the rectangle by itself and I'm going to do create group. It doesn't change anything. It just means I can change I can give it an animation without losing sight of the fact that it's just a rectangle. So the overall effect for the whole thing is going to be overlay slash d-link slash %110. And then this rectangle is going to appear overlay slash d-link slash, and that's it. And it will appear. So the whole thing will get bigger and this rectangle will appear. It's sort of a simpler way to do a similar effect. And now if I want the rectangle to change color, I just take this, copy it, and paste in front. And now I do down, and I take this rectangle, and this rectangle I'm going to make it green. So this rectangle will only show up when I press down with the mouse. Save page. So now it's purple. If I press down, it becomes green. So you can do a lot of different effects like this just by combining things in different ways. The text, if I want to make the text change color, for example, then I'll copy this and paste it in front. So now I have two copies of the text. And this one, I'll make blue. That'll be painful for our eyes. Maybe orange with a white outline. Create group so I can still see what's inside of the group. And this one is going to be called down slash d-link. So when you press down, you'll change the color of the text. You'll also change the color of the rectangle. And the whole thing will get bigger when you mouse over it. So this is kind of fun. And there are a million different possibilities. But that's all I'm going to cover right now. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed watching.